So I'm in here getting ready to head to the office, and I was thinking about a conversation I had yesterday and a quote I saw that literally freed my very existence. The quote was, "My freedom is not contingent upon their suffering," and it was so profound because I was having a conversation with one of my best friends about karma. And she was obviously describing a situation, and she was talking about how she felt like the person who did her wrong is not getting their karma. And I kind of had to explain to her, obviously, in disclaimer, I'm spiritual, not religious, but love God, shout out to Big Sandals, all that. I was explaining to her that karma, obviously, it's a universal law of karma. As you reap, so you will sow. It's biblical in any spiritual practice. It all boils down to, obviously, you reap what you sow. Whatever you do to somebody, you get it back tenfold. That's just the universal law of karma. And I thought it was interesting because karma comes in many forms. And we don't talk enough about that. And then obviously for my neurospicy people and like people who love neuroscience, I love neuroscience. I saw an interesting take on the concept of karma. And to my best friend's point, she was just like, it just seems like they're not getting their karma. And I had to explain to her, they are. They're literally living their karma every day on top of whatever's going to happen externally. Because think about it. And this is going to step into neuroscience, so follow me. When we think about it, we all operate on frequencies. And I'll put a chart up here so you can see every emotion operates at a certain frequency. You have obviously anger, grief, all of those are low frequency, and we operate and we vibrate on a frequency daily. So the highest frequency typically is enlightenment, and enlightenment, that's the highest form of mastery. And we've all heard the quote, the highest form of mastery is when you master yourself. So once you reach the peak of enlightenment, you're close to God and source and the Most High. So when you really think about it, people who do people wrong, mistreat them, operate with low morality and low integrity, they're operating on that lower frequency daily. And we all know the law of attraction, it pulls from your frequency that you vibrate on. So whatever you focus on, whatever you think about, whatever you ingest, you attract more of it. So if all you're focused on is mistreating people, doing people wrong, operating on these low frequencies, you just attract more of that into your life. And I was explaining to her, although they may appear to be thriving externally, internally, they're literally in shambles. And think about it. Can you imagine being a horrible person and operating on that lower frequency daily? You always operating in anger, always operating in like just grief, always operating in, and obviously we're human, so we bounce between frequencies, but people who just go out here and just are horrible humans, they operate on that frequency daily. So imagine how far from God you have to be to operate on these lower frequencies daily. So I was telling her, like, don't spend your time worry about whether this person is going to get their karma or not. They will, trust me. They'll get it externally sooner or later. Once again, you always reap what you sow. But on top of whatever's going to happen to them externally, they're living their karma daily by the things they attract. The stuff like, you ever notice how you could be having a horrible day and you just be in that bad energy and then more bad stuff happens? It's literally the law of attraction. Whatever you focus on, you attract more of it. So the beautiful message in this is their suffering has nothing to do with your freedom. You can be free at any point and free to go experiment and like experience beautiful, like you get to attract more beautiful stuff in your life because you're not operating at that lower frequency. They are, and they got to live with that daily. So like I said, and I was telling her, don't spend your time worried about whether somebody's going to get their karma or not. They will. It's just a matter of whether you're going to be around to see it or not. But the beautiful thing is that your freedom is not contingent upon their suffering. You get to be free at any moment in time. So remember that.